but I find chit-chat very awkward. Not with my friends, but I get very confused. I don't know what to do. It was very hard during the pandemic because we weren't allowed to shake hands. I know where I am with a handshake. I trust a handshake. I know what I'm doing. But I couldn't do that during the panny D. Mid-pandemic, I was asked to do my first episode of QI. Very exciting, right? And I went down to Television Centre and I popped on my suit and I had my makeup done and I put on a little microphone and then they took me down to the studio floor and the guy that was the producer, he came over to me and he said, Suzi, great to have you on the show, we're really pleased you're here. Now listen, just to let you know, you are not allowed to touch Sandy Toksvig. Now, I've got to be very clear here, they said that to everyone, that wasn't just to me. They said it to everyone. Sandy was doing so many shows on the bounce, she had to make sure that she didn't get ill because it would just disrupt filming, okay? But then what happened is Sandy Toksvig started walking down this long corridor towards me. She was not much bigger than that. She started walking down this long corridor towards me, getting closer and closer and closer to me until I panicked and then I bowed. Sandy panicked too. She bowed back. It was like we were about to do karate. Or like I was going, the superior lesbians here, give her the sword. Please take the sword, Sandy. Please take the sword. Happened again. I was invited to another nice day out. I was invited to the British Comedy Awards. There was an awards show, and there was a party afterwards. And my agent said to me, Suze, go and network. And I thought, oh, you'll regret that. I'm better with a buffer, if I'm honest. And then what I did, and I don't know if any of you are like me, because I felt a bit nervous, I thought, right, what I'll do is I'll have a couple of drinks, just a couple of little white wines, not too much, just a couple of little white wines, and then I'll be nice and loose and charming. You know when I'm nice and loose and charming, just lovely and loose and nice and charming. Just a couple of little white wines, worth noting I hadn't had dinner. And I had a couple of little white wines, then I got started to chat to a guy who worked in telly quite high up, I later found out, and he was from Northern Ireland. And in that moment, what I thought would be nice and loose and charming, yes, you know where this is going, would be if I did his accent back at him for the entirety of the conversation, just saying things like, it's a travesty I wasn't in Derry Girls. Just really nice and loose and charming. So I'm worried that Connor doesn't like me. Alice, please turn back, I am not finished. And I'm worried about the humanitarian crisis in the Middle East. I'm worried about the war in Ukraine. I'm worried about women in Iran. I'm worried about reproductive rights being rolled back across the globe. I'm worried about LGBT rights being rolled back across the globe. I'm worried about the fact that we've brought a little girl into the world and it feels like the world is currently just shifting to the right and I don't know what to do. I'm worried about the fact that she might go to a school where there might be parents that don't like people like us. I'm worried there might be parents at the school that might protest outside because of books they have in the library about families that look like ours. I'm worried about the fact that the world is a homophobic place. Let's be honest, there's 69 countries where it's illegal to be gay. There's 11 where it's punishable by death. And now we brought a little girl into the world. What if she walks around with some sort of generational shame because I'm her mum? What can we do to make sure that she's happy in the mix? I was so unhappy when I was little because I didn't know who I was and what she feels like that as well. What can I do? What can one person do to make sure that she's happier than me? All right, that's it, night-night. And then... And then what I do is I tuck Alice under my pillow. And in her dreams, she questions her life choices.